Good evening, I'm Michael and you're watching Kini News. It's only the 4th day into the Tanjung Piai by-election campaign and we may already have our first big controversy. If you ask me, I'd say, what took so long? A video has surfaced allegedly showing Agriculture and Agro-based Industry Minister Salahuddin Ayub telling a group of people that the country will plunge into chaos if BN returns to power with PAS.
Bagi balik itu BN berkuasa, dia kawan itu PAS. You jangan. Ini country akan jadi huru hara. You go to hell, you mati masuk neraka. Ini orang mati masuk heaven. Ini apa punya teaching? Ini kita ajar macam tu ke? No, we must preserve this country. Jaga ini, keharmonian ini sangat penting. Kita boleh berniaga, kita boleh sekolah kerana tak ada orang tembak sana, tak ada orang tembak sini, tak ada orang bakar ke, tak ada orang bakar sini. Besok kita ada banyak wang, tapi dengar orang sana bakar. Nak berniaga tak boleh besok, nak pergi laut tak boleh. Jaga. Ini negara kita jaga bersama.
Reporters waited eagerly at the Parliament lobby for Salahuddin to get his response to this matter. When he finally made an appearance, he stood by what he said.
Dan ada parti yang mendakwa menjadi parti agama dalam negara kita ini terus memainkan isu-isu seperti mana kalau tak ikut kumpulan mereka tak masuk syurga, kumpulannya akan masuk neraka. Ya? Kalau Datuk Asyraf Wajdi tadi mencabar saya, dia jangan lupa ya, bahawa golongan agamawan yang melampau telah mencipta ideologi ini dalam negara ini. Adakah dia berdiam diri? Saya nak cabar beliau pada hari ini untuk mengawasi pengkuliah-pengkuliah agama dalam negara ini yang sangat memainkan ucapan ini secara melampau. Kalau tak ikut bulan kami, kamu nanti munafik, kamu akan mati masuk neraka. Ini berlaku dalam negara kita pada hari ini. Oleh itu saya sekadar memperingatkan.
While several opposition leaders have called Salahuddin's comments racist, the Amanat leader says he was only reminding people of true racism, which could threaten the nation's stability. BN's Padang Thurap MP Madzir Khalid, who said he watched the video, expressed shock when met by reporters at the Parliament lobby today.
How can seorang menteri yang bertaraf menteri turun untuk berkempen dalam dewan, saya tak tahu di mana, tapi mengeluarkan kenyataan yang sangat pada saya tuduhan yang sangat rasis. Jadi macam mana dia bercakap macam tu? Oh, saya dengar satu persatu ucapannya. Sangat rasis dan sangat berbahaya kepada negara kalau bentuk inilah dibawa oleh pemimpin Pakatan Harapan. Right?
Meanwhile, Umno Youth Chief Asyraf Wajdi Dusuki indicated that BN Youth will launch a police report over the minister's speech this evening. In the second time in Malaysian history, a serving judge will be hauled to court on criminal charges tomorrow. It will definitely be a change of scenery after proceeding over numerous cases in the past. The Sessions Court judge will find himself in the dock. In a brief statement this afternoon, the MACC said the judge would be charged together with a deputy public prosecutor and a lawyer at a special corruption court in Shah Alam. We have the names of all three, but we're withholding it until they are charged tomorrow. Remember Archbishop Chrysostomos II? Of course you do. He was named in a front-page report in the Cypriot Daily Politis yesterday as having played an alleged role in fast-tracking Jolo's citizenship in Cyprus. Today, Chrysostomos has distanced himself from the controversy according to a news report. Cyprus Daily, citing another report from the Cyprus Broadcasting Corporation, quoted the Archbishop denying he had a personal interest to recommend Lo to be granted citizenship in September 2015. Motorcycle e-hailing may become a reality in Malaysia not too long from now, as the government announced today that the potential service providers will be allowed to take part in the proof of concept beginning January 2020. However, according to Transport Minister Anthony Lok, the POC will be limited to the Klang Valley.
Di POC ini akan bermula dalam bulan Januari dan kita harap dalam tempoh 6 bulan ini kita dapat mengumpul data-data dan melihat bagaimana konsep ini dapat diteruskan.
Now let's take a quick look at what's happening in Tanjung Piai. Gerakan's candidate Wendy Subramaniam has become a victim of cyberbullying. In a viral message currently being circulated on WhatsApp and Facebook, the message claims that a vote for Wendy in the Tanjung Piai by-election would be a vote for Bersatu, the The text was accompanied by a picture depicting Wendy as a puppet next to two Bersatu leaders and a PKR leader.
This is trying to humiliate women. Okay, women are not puppet. We have our own ideas. We can be innovative. We can be leaders too. So we hope that this. We do not want to see any more this kind of pictures. Yeah.
Now let's take a look at international headlines. Impeachment probe on US President Donald Trump is underway and some juicy details are beginning to emerge.
This morning released the depositions of Ambassador McKinley, Ambassador Yovanovitch.
Democratic Representative Adam Schiff on Monday announced the House Intelligence Committee would begin releasing transcripts of closed-door testimony from witnesses in the impeachment inquiry into Donald Trump. The first disclosures included a 300-plus page deposition by ousted U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine Marie Yovanovitch. Yovanovitch detailed to lawmakers efforts by Trump's lawyer Rudy Giuliani in that country allegedly seeking dirt on Trump's political opponents. Schiff, who described her as a distinguished U.S. diplomat with a reputation as a fighter of corruption, said the testimony revealed a deliberate back-channel campaign to smear her and force her out.
And so what does this irregular back channel sanctioned by the president do? It seeks to remove someone fighting corruption in Ukraine. That smear campaign, orchestrated by this irregular channel, was successful in removing a U.S. ambassador.
In her October 11th testimony, Yovanovitch told lawmakers that Ukrainian officials who'd spoken to Giuliani told her to, quote, watch her back. Asked about President Trump's personal lawyer's presence in Ukraine, she said, quote, I wasn't really sure exactly what was going on, and that she became aware of Trump's involvement in Ukraine, quote, like everybody else in this room, by reading the press and watching TV. The investigation into the Republican president is focused on a July 25th phone call in which Trump asked Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to investigate Joe Biden, a 2020 Democratic presidential candidate. 4 U.S. officials called to testify by Democrats did not show up as requested on Monday, Schiff added, and the president pressed his demand for a whistleblower to appear. Some Democrats say Republican Trump, who has ordered administration officials not to cooperate, should face an obstruction of justice charge among the impeachment counts they plan to consider against him.
They should follow the example of the courageous people that have come forward. People who have, in their careers, much more at risk, have shown the courage to come forward. They have not hidden behind litigation. They have not hidden behind the White House.
If the House votes to approve articles of impeachment, the process moves to the Republican-controlled Senate, where that chamber would hold a trial on whether to remove Trump from office. Senate Republicans have so far shown little appetite for removing the president.
Chaos in Baghdad as Iraqi security forces opened fire on protesters, leaving several dead.
Iraqi protesters turning their anger towards Iran as they tried to break into the Iranian consulate in the Shiite Muslim holy city of Kabbalah. Chanting Iran out, Iraqi security forces opened fire on the crowd, killing 3. It's just the latest deaths in a deadly crackdown since anti-government protests swept Iraq since early October. The anger over economic hardship and corruption is aimed at the sectarian power-sharing system of governance introduced in Iraq after 2003. The political class is seen by many as subservient to one or other of Baghdad's main allies, the US and Iran, who use Iraq as a proxy in a struggle for regional influence.
We come here today to revolt and hold a protest in front of Iranian consulate. We come to pull down the Iranian flag and lift the Iraqi flag instead. The Iranians and the parties affiliated with Iran harm us. We will never let any Iranians stay in Kabbalah. We will never let any subordinates in Kabbalah. Kabbala's residents have revolted against Iranians.
But despite hundreds killed in the crackdown, protesters are digging in, defying the Prime Minister who appealed for them to go home and camping out overnight in the capital Baghdad. Abdul Mahdi says the protests have achieved their aim and are now costing the country's economy billions of dollars. The Premier has said he is willing to resign if lawmakers agree on a replacement. He's also promised a number of reforms. But protesters say that it's not enough and that the entire political class needs to go.
And here are several other news highlights from today. Before we go, we leave you with some stunning visuals of a massive drift ice appearing in northeast China. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'm Prasad Michael. Thank you for watching. Good night.